In the farthest corners of our world, where winter blankets the land for most of the year, life continues in ways that might seem almost impossible to outsiders. In remote snow-covered villages, where roads are buried under meters of ice, where the nearest hospital could be hundreds of kilometers away, and where temperatures drop so low that machines often fail, babies are still born. But how do these isolated communities bring new life into the world? How do expectant mothers prepare for childbirth in places where doctors are rare, ambulances can't reach, and helicopters often can't fly during blizzards? Today we'll explore the fascinating and often dangerous journey of delivering babies in remote snow villages. From traditional practices passed down through generations to modern interventions brought in by rural midwives and health workers, this story reveals resilience, community spirit, and the willpower of mothers who give birth in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. To understand the challenges of childbirth, we must first understand daily life in these villages. Remote snow villages are often located in mountainous regions of Siberia, Alaska, Canada, the Himalayas, or northern Scandinavia. Winters last for 8 to 10 months, snow can pile up to the rooftops, and temperatures can sink below -40 degrees Celsius. Infrastructure is minimal. Many of these villages lack paved roads, proper hospitals, or even constant electricity. During heavy snowfalls, paths become impassable, and the only way in or out may be by sled, snowmobile, or even on foot. In these conditions, pregnancy becomes more than a biological process. It becomes a logistical challenge. Expectant mothers must think not only about the health of their baby, but also about timing their labor against weather patterns, food supplies, and community support. For centuries, communities in snowbound regions relied on local midwives, women trained not by formal institutions, but through generations of experience. These midwives, often the most respected figures in the community, used knowledge of herbs, massage, breathing techniques, and birthing positions to guide mothers safely through childbirth. They also understood how to use fire, animal hides, or heated stones to keep both mother and newborn warm in freezing rooms. In many villages, the entire community played a role. Men would cut extra firewood, neighbors would bring broth or warm water, and older women would sing or pray, providing psychological comfort. While dangerous by modern medical standards, these practices created survival systems that allowed life to continue, even in places where no hospital could be reached. Childbirth in remote snow villages has always been risky. Complications such as prolonged labor, breech births, hemorrhages, or infections could mean life or death. Without sterile equipment, mothers were vulnerable. Without anesthesia, pain was endured in full. Without antibiotics, even a small infection could become fatal. The greatest danger, however, was the inability to transfer a mother to a medical facility during emergencies. Blizzards could ground helicopters, avalanches could block paths, and frozen rivers could cut off villages entirely. For many mothers, fate depended solely on the skill of the midwife and the strength of their own body. Over the last century, governments and humanitarian organizations have tried to improve maternal health in snowbound communities. Rural clinics were built in some villages, staffed with nurses or midwives who received formal training. Health kits with sterile scissors, antiseptics, and basic medications began to circulate. In some countries, like Canada and Finland, air ambulance services were developed to airlift mothers in distress. Yet even with modern tools, challenges remain. Electricity may fail during a snowstorm, satellite phones may lose connection, and helicopters may still be unable to fly in dangerous weather. Modern intervention helps, but in the most isolated villages, birth often remains a community event rooted in tradition. In many snow villages, families begin preparations for birth weeks or even months in advance. They stockpile firewood, melt ice for water, prepare blankets, and set aside herbs or modern medicines if available. Some mothers temporarily move closer to small clinics before their due date. But this isn't always possible, especially when travel is blocked by snow. Preparation often includes psychological readiness. In communities where mortality has always been a part of childbirth, mothers enter labor with both courage and acceptance, supported by the rituals, prayers, and songs of their community. Imagine a woman in the Siberian taiga, going into labor in the middle of a snowstorm. Her husband rushes to the village midwife, who walks through the blizzard with a lantern in hand. Inside their wooden cabin, a fire crackles, heating water in an iron pot. The midwife instructs the mother to squat, supported by two women holding her arms. Hours pass, snow continues to fall, but eventually the cries of a newborn fill the room. Or picture a small Inuit settlement in northern Canada. Here, midwives blend modern knowledge with ancient traditions. They use sterile gloves and clamps, but also traditional chants to comfort the mother. The community celebrates not just the survival of mother and child, but also the continuation of their culture in one of the harshest climates on Earth. These stories highlight the balance of danger, hope, and resilience that define childbirth in snow villages. As climate change alters weather patterns, some villages are becoming even more isolated due to unstable ice roads and harsher winters. At the same time, technology offers new solutions. Telemedicine allows doctors hundreds of miles away to advise local midwives in real time. Portable ultrasound machines, solar-powered medical kits, and drones delivering medicines are slowly transforming maternal care in these regions. But no matter how much technology advances, the essence of childbirth in these snowbound places remains deeply human. The courage of mothers, the dedication of midwives, and the unity of communities determined to bring new life safely into the world. Delivering babies in remote snow villages is more than a medical act. It's a test of survival, resilience, and tradition. It is the story of mothers who face not just the pain of labor, but also the unforgiving power of nature. It is the story of communities who gather together in the harshest of winters to ensure that life goes on. While modern healthcare continues to extend its reach, the lessons from these villages remain timeless. That human connection, care, and courage are often the most powerful medicines of all. So the next time you hear about a baby born in the comfort of a modern hospital, remember that at the same time, in a tiny snowbound village, far from the world's eyes, a mother may be bringing new life into the world with nothing but the strength of her body, the wisdom of her midwife, and the warmth of her community.